All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 1 between MrGuyAverage and ptoil as part of the Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament. The category for today is 69%, and I'm Glove on comms. 69%, for those who may not be aware, is Uh, really just what it says on the tin. I think of all the categories uh, within this tournament, it's probably the most self-explanatory. Collect 69% of the items and exactly 69% of the items. Otherwise, standard rules apply. No major glitches, no GT code, nothing like that. In my mind, it is I think it's a really neat category. There's a lot of variance in routes that can be taken. So, I don't expect these runners to it's very unlikely that we're gonna see both runners having exactly the same item set, even if they do take similar routes. And so everybody loves to sort of craft their own items and decide, what they really like to get. Alright, both runners should be getting started here momentarily. But yeah, so, as far as the bracket goes, this match between MrGuyAverage and ptoil is between MrGuyAverage is the number 1 seed and ptoil is the ninth seed. To get here, ptoil has had to beat Glossio Suzo, whereas MGA has had to beat Nevti. Neither of those easy matchups for sure. And the winner of this match will go on to play Professor School, and the loser will go on to play Telemorph, it looks like. But yeah, so definitely a gap in the seating. MrGuyAverage is a pretty clear favorite to win the tournament overall. I would say he has a very strong seed. Uh, he has a very strong times that he submitted for seeding and just consistently puts out a great performance. However, ptoil is certainly no slouch. Also an incredible runner. He didn't get ninth seed by mistake. Both runners onto the series escape now. As we all know, the series escape time determines the race, so we'll have to see what we get. Uh, yeah, pretty standard rooms. Both runners went for the D boost. MGA unfortunately missed it, and ptoil got it. So we have a 45-58, and oh no, ptoil has trouble right there at the end. Ends up with a 42-81. Series is just merciless. Yeah, so for those who are curious, MGA being the higher seed got one ban, and then ptoil got to pick the category. So MrGuyAverage, so tragically banned North Korea percent, and then ptoil picked 69, which indicates to me that ptoil likely thinks this is the category where he has the best shot at overtaking MrGuyAverage. We'll have to see what happens. I think there's definitely, it's Super Metroid. Really, anything can happen. Both of these runners are certainly capable of putting out a very skillful run. And we'll see here, ptoil does not use Moonwalk, whereas MrGuyAverage does. Yeah, it looks like going into this tournament, ptoil had a 69% PB. of 103.03 compared to MrGuyAverage's 58.36. Ptoil is notably part of the category of runners who have really strong times throughout, and then just a weaker NK percent time compared to other categories. Ptoil has a 1 hour 20 minute 52 second NK time, so without that, he would likely be seated significantly higher. Maybe at least a couple seats higher, I would think. We're seeing some nice early games from both of these runners. Climb is certainly one of the more technical rooms in the early game. One of the rooms where you can really just lose a lot of time throughout the whole room, even just through very minor mistakes, just not having those clean wall jumps. However, both of these runners show off some very nice climbs, very nice wall jumping skills. Ptoil has a little bit of trouble with enemies, but still makes it through nicely. That's a 444 bombs there from MrGuyAverage, just absurd. And a 457 from Ptoil. Definitely below what Ptoil would want to see from an average run. However, not a bad bombs time at all. Like in a race setting, sub 5 bombs time is going to be perfectly adequate. You see, ooh, MGA unfortunately gets really screwed on drops there. Interestingly, actually farms one of the bugs in the hallway next to bombs, and keeps on farming again. I guess he does not want to rely on drops from the space pirates. He'll get one missile pack here. And wow, yeah, he's actually changing the way that he does Terminator. Interesting. Yeah, you can instead missile the space pirates and hope that you go positive on missile drops, which might even be what MGA would do if this were like a PB attempt or something, but he probably doesn't want to have to rely on that. Since once you go down the Sprint Star elevator and you're past those green pirates, your ability to get missiles if you have damaged yourself down severely drops. So MGA actually loses a pretty decent chunk of time through having issues with those missiles, and Ptoil is only now like half a room behind. Unfortunately, MGA does not get the D-boost he wants. But yeah, up until this point, runners' routes tend to be pretty similar. Some people will get missiles, beta missiles, if they don't want to deal with Bryn Star cleanup later for Retro Bryn. However, both of these runners, it seems, are leaving that as a possibility. Every runner's going to get these Bryn Star reserve items. They're just too good to pass up. It's 3 items in one room. You basically never see that. Like if you just care about item collection percentage, then this first part of Bryn Star is just an absolute treasure trove. Looks like both runners go for the The more standard jump mock ball strat in Decor Room that does not fix the door. It's a little bit slower, but it saves you energy and it gives you a lot more consistency. So very reasonable. Both of these runners pick up the Mission Impossible missiles, which indicates to me that they are unlikely to come back here to Brinstar for a cleanup. And neither of these runners are going for Spore Spawn Supers. You don't really see many people go for them. Some people really like having that extra super pack, but Spospo is quite slow to get. Both of our runners are actually kind of low on health here. Ptoil especially needs to be careful. There are going to be certain damage boosts that he will want to skip out on just to avoid getting health bombed. Yeah, and MrGuyAverage, I believe, picks up Spazer after he comes back down from Red Tower, like back down from Fantoon. Oh yeah, see, Ptoil's in health bomb range. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Like he'll get one health drop. I think a big health drop from the CAC instead of the super that he would really ideally want. And hopefully from there he can avoid taking any hits up until after Kraid. As Kraid drops can be very useful in a category like this. Just because compared to other categories, you just have more items coming in here. It sounds almost silly to say, but like I think in 69%, you can run into a lot of early game energy woes just because you're going through more of the game and picking up more items, so there are going to be a lot more strats that deal damage to you. Yeah, and Ptoil actually goes back and picks up those health drops, presumably so that he can deboost using these spikes here. And also notably, you know, nobody wants it to happen, but if he does miss the crate quick kill, he'd like to be able to get some super drops, or at least the chance of it. Finishing off crate with missiles is not the most fun thing. He does get a very nice, very clean crate quick kill though. MGA meanwhile has nice resources. I like being full on supers. I wonder if MGA will pre-open ice. On his way out of Norfair. It's a fairly common thing to do if you have enough supers. Just because it saves you one there, so you won't have to use it later in the game when supers will be much more convenient, you know. By the time you're getting into Lower Norfair, every super missile that you have is just time you can save on that fight. Like I believe Apathy Duck even said, with the sheer number of supers that you pick up in a KPDR route in 69%, Plasma is only arguably worth it, since the supers can supplement your damage so much that New Route Beam becomes not as much of a detriment. Ooh, MGA is having some trouble here in Cathedral. Cathedral, once you get off your rhythm, it can be annoying to do. And here he goes for the really neat Rising Tide. Who unfortunately has a bit of a tumble. Really nice recovery, though. I love that Bubble Mountain strat with the charge shot. And the D-boost, nicely done. That was a great Bubble Mountain. Bubble is one of those rooms that can just give you so much trouble. That was a really clean like beginning of Cathedral entrance there from ptoil, really low to the ground. Yeah, and ptoil shows off there some of the advantage that you can get by getting Spazer early. There are a lot of strats you can do with Spazer. I'll be curious to see if he uses Spazer to its full effect to help make Bubble Mountain a little bit easier. The obvious downside of picking up Spazer earlier is that you have to menu off of it if you're doing stuff like X Factoring Fantoon, which I would imagine is why MGA saves it for later. But yeah, so far both runners have taken pretty similar routes. The main divergence being MGA saving Spazer for later. Assuming he does pick up Spazer, I guess it's possible. Oh, MGA takes 2 spike hits there. Yeah, I guess it's possible MGA skips Spazer entirely, preferring to avoid menuing. However, Spazer is a pretty convenient item to pick up. And MGA gets the frame perfect bomb strat, the bomb spread strat. That is way more difficult than it looks. Really, really incredible, incredible play here from MGA. Yeah, MrGuyAverage is just a really incredible runner all around. You know, he's first seed here. He's extensively run every category in this tournament. He's also spent a lot of time with the main categories. You know, notably he is one of the best old route runners overall, which I think helps him. Oh no, ptoil gets the unfavorable deboost there. But yeah, I think being so entrenched in old route is very helpful for a lot of the categories in this tournament, where old route either is the way to go or new route just doesn't give you nearly as much of an advantage, and of course is quite risky. Oh, I love that down grab strat for Red Tower so much. And yeah, right now, you know, MGA going into Wrecked Ship is about to enter the portion of the run where really the amount of health you have can be converted almost directly into the time saving strats you can do. There are so many time saving strats in rooms, like, for example, Spiky Room of Death, where it can be dangerous and it hurts you a lot, but it can save you a lot of time compared to safer strats. Of course, you have to have enough health exiting here. MGA, I don't believe either of these runners will be doing Gauntlet until the very end of the game, so they probably don't need to be saving health for Gauntlet Spark or anything like that. All right, and ptoil there does a much more standard red tower climb, still very nicely executed. No, this is not any percent. This is 69%. And 69% is really just what it says on the tin. Interesting from MGA there, choosing to collect the drops from the crabs. I wonder if he was looking for power bombs or if he wanted the health. I wouldn't be surprised if MGA just wanted some extra health for this wrecked ship section. Like, I'm trying to think, and I don't think you are likely to run into any power bomb woes on this route. Oh no, ptoil. Ptoil, unfortunately, not only are those Vile Plumes unfortunate because they lose time, but they do, somewhat obviously lose health, and so ptoil will be entering this wrecked ship with a fair bit less health compared to MrGuyAverage. So he has to be really careful about what he's doing. Alright, nice opening there from MGA. Set up to 2-round this with a right mid. Oh no! That's really unfortunate. MGA just can't land that super. So he's gonna have to extend this into a 3-round, and of course Fantoon says, if you want a 3-round, it's gonna be a slow. Oh no! MGA. Yeah, that's awkward. I wonder if MGA, his hand just slipped and he meant to select supers, since a super would have just killed there. Yeah, like Fantoon was super dead. Laser door. ptoil now entering his own Fantoon fight. The fact that ptoil has turned off that spazer indicates he also wants to go for those X Factor strats. He has to be really careful of his health, though. He's gonna get health bombed. And ptoil gets another slow. Oh! ptoil, just one missile short. I'm almost positive that he just meant to get in one missile before that super, and it just didn't come out. Hopefully a right mid to finish this off then. Yeah, see, that was one missile away. Really just some unfortunate happenings on Fantoon from both of our runners today. Uh, what a boss. And MrGuyAverage goes for a very difficult Temp Blue strat here. Uh, recovers nicely, however, he had quite the hiccup there at the beginning. Just from, I think, maybe getting one less missile off on the atomic than he wanted. Yeah, now one of the chief advantages of KPDR over something like PRKD is that it does allow you to get a lot more of these wrecked ship items. Like Sky Missiles just effectively isn't a possibility in PRKD. You can bomb jump to it, but nobody wants to do that. Nice two-hit bowling there from MrGuyAverage. Looks like ptoil is setting up potentially for an attic spark. Yeah, so that attic spark uses up a little bit more health, but it is far more consistent compared to what MGA was going for, and it works out for ptoil. You know, he gained a solid few seconds compared to MGA in attic. Unfortunately, Sparks does a vertical spark when he meant to diagonal spark. And again, you know, with these, both with some of the mishaps he's had, and with doing some strats that are more taxing on his HP, ptoil's HP ends up much lower than MGA's. And you know, this HP is what ptoil has to work with until Mama Turtle, so he's gonna have to farm up a little bit before bowling. And unfortunately, these bugs only give you supers when you don't want them. So ptoil can take 3 hits here, no issue, so he's gonna be fine. Oh, MGA really went for that ocean mock ball. No reason not to, but that ocean speedball is incredibly difficult. Yeah, and I love that bounce ball. Exiting moat. It's really neat, and I'm pretty confident it fixes the door better as well. I could be wrong on that though. Yeah, MGA, you know, with this category picking up so many supers, doesn't need to farm those cacks. Yeah, so door fixing is a term. Certain doors, if doors are not centered on the screen, then during the door transition, the door will first have an animation of moving towards the center of the screen before progressing onward. And so anytime you can shorten, like anytime you can get the door relative to the camera to be in the center of the screen, that will save you time. There are some doors that are just really bad, and any strategy to help fix the camera with them just waste time. But oftentimes, if a door is really bad, it's worth going out of your way to make that door transition better. Oh, that was just a textbook Main Street there from MGA, and even gets the nice recovery. Yeah, so Main Street, I think. What did MGA do it as a stutter 3 tap? That's how I do it. It's pretty tight. I would say Main Street is up there in competition for the. It's up there in competition for the shortest, very useful short charge. Both runners got beta power bombs, I believe. ptoil I know did for sure, but I forget if MGA did. I thought he did though. Yeah, good of ptoil remembering to farm that frog. That could have been not great later on. Never a good idea to rely on crabs for your power bombs. Yeah, and MGA here shows one of the more surprising things I found with 69% is oftentimes it is worth it to get beach but not watering hole. Just because watering hole takes so long. You would think that beach, it feels like going a long way for one item. But a lot of routes find it to be worth it. Also, I liked that accidental aqueduct missile skip there from MGA. Oftentimes runners have trouble doing that intentionally, as if you can consistently, oh nice short charge. That's such a cool strat. That was a cool strat. But yeah, if you can consistently skip the missiles in Aqueduct, then Aqueduct Super is actually a little bit faster than Crab Supers. Nice bot swoon. Pretty standard to call it strat. And MGA gets the mock ball into bot swoon E. So cool. One of the neater mock balls in the game, in my opinion. The press team for the coolest mock ball in the game is just working overtime. Because there are so many neater mock balls in the game. Also, nice full halfie into down back there from MGA. Getting the full halfie with the down back is actually just a tiny bit harder because you have to be a bit higher. Alright, and it looks like ptoil is not getting beach missile. He's also farming for power bombs, gets one. So he will be able to X-Factor bot swoon. I like that diagonal bomb jump. And on to Dragon for MrGuyAverage. MrGuyAverage here is going for a pretty standard opener and misses the short charge. Oh no, that's really rough. MGA is having a lot of trouble short charging. Unfortunately with Dragon, it feels like once you get knocked off your rhythm to begin with, it's really hard to find it again. MGA does take it down, gets a couple chances at a spike, so you can't get it. Meanwhile, it looks like ptoil had a little bit of trouble with bot swoon, I think. I think that was a slight 2-round. I was focused on the Dragon fight. Oh, and ptoil does sand pits early. I assume that's what this is. Maybe he just forgot to do aqueduct. Yeah, I think this is just a this might just be a mistake from him. He just forgot to do aqueduct and had any percent on the brain or something. Yeah, if he's going right back to Batoon Hallway, then that has to be what that is. Yeah, pretty healthy super count here from MGA. Obviously, oh, Plasma Spark? Plasma Spark, wow, MGA, you show off. But yeah, obviously in 69%, you're not going to be worried about not having enough ammo to do something in terms of missiles and supers. However, at this phase in the game, MrGuyAverage wants any super that he can get for the Ridley fight just to make it a little bit faster. And, you know, any supers he can get in Turian as well are going to make his Turian just a bit faster. And now ptoil is about to enter his own Dragon. If ptoil can have a bit of a cleaner opener, then he potentially has some time save on MGA here. It's certainly not impossible for ptoil to bridge this gap. However, MGA is really just playing so clean right now. Now, great Meridia exit rooms here from MGA. And that was a textbook Dragon fight there from ptoil. Nicely done. And the spike suit on his last feasible try. Oh, it looked like he almost blew it there right before the space jump platform. Thankfully, was able to react super quickly. That's one of those things that you just get with experience dealing with spike suit. Oh, great deboost there from MGA. You have to go through the room quite fast to be able to do that well. And the exiting mockball, very cool. Yeah, so to answer a question in chat, 69% is just pick up 69% of the items. You can choose which ones you want to get, and indeed there are routing differences. Both of these runners have gotten a few different items. Like, for example, I don't think MGA ever picked up Spazer, actually. I guess he just decided the combination of the time it takes to pick up Spazer plus the time it takes to menu off of it isn't worth it. Usually skip Spazer. Okay, good to know. Nice chronic boost. Got a plasma room. Ooh, ptoil takes a little bit of damage here in plasma room. Not a huge deal, but he does need to be cognizant of his health. Yeah, and MGA, like quite a few runners here, will be getting screw attack and I assume skipping the GT fight. Usually if you're fighting GT, you're gonna enter through the normal way, as it's not that much slower to use the normal way, and you get that missile pack. But yeah, a lot of runners really just find screw attack to be worth it. I believe it's been decided that optimally screw attack is not worth it, but it will almost certainly save any human time. It just makes everything so much cleaner. I mean, immediately it shows its utility here in Richie. Screw attack with space jump is a beautiful combination that just makes an absolute joke out of worst room in the game. And MGA, geez, he must have been a pixel from falling down there. Actually managed to get the crumble block to go off. Like ptoil will be about to enter the LN segment in just a second. Oh no! This is the scary part about routing that crumble shaft in, is it's so easy to fall down and lose time. Nice KO from MGA. Looked like he considered doing the second KO completely raw. I'm not sure if he went for it and missed, or he just doesn't go for it. The second KO doesn't save nearly as much time as the first. Yeah, that Golden Pirate strat is really neat. So yeah, MGA does have 18 supers here, which means if he chooses to use them all, that's more than half the fight just in supers. Oh, MGA needs to watch his health here. I don't know how much is in that reserve, and I'm willing to bet that neither does MGA. Oh, and he doesn't even get a tail swipe. Whew. So thankfully, MGA doesn't lose time from popping the reserve, makes it out alive, and because of that reserve, doesn't even get health bombed. Gets an E-tank here, no more energy worries. Still, that was too close for comfort. I find it really interesting though that MGA didn't want to use any supers on that fight. Usually you see runners supplement at least with some supers. Yeah, I mean, it is easier to count. MGA is a quite accomplished runner, though. So I would expect him... I was honestly... Yeah, I would expect him to to know how to be able to account for added supers in. I'm confident I've seen him do it before. Maybe he just wanted to reduce his mental stack in a race setting. Especially when you have this much of a lead, you know, you can take stuff like that slow. And MGA going for the neat ice strat here on Fit Fire Please. Manages to get it. That one's so cool. Yeah, ptoil needs to be even more careful about his HP. You know what? I respect this. I completely respect getting Fire Flea here. Like, I don't care who you are. Lower Norfair's no joke. Like, I think this loses what, maybe 15 seconds or something, and it means you have basically full health coming into the scary part of LN. All of LN's scary. Solid single chamber for MGA. Really good quick drops. Quick drops. Oh no! MGA almost got that D boost. Oh. ptoil messes up the Ninja Pirate strat. Thankfully, he does it in such a way that the pirates just reset to their normal positions. It's very easy to have it happen where messing up the Ninja Pirate strat, they just start to bombo you. Oh, MGA didn't lay the power bomb. Part of me almost wonders if there was a little bit of added hesitation just because you do this room very similarly but slightly differently in GT Max %, where you actually don't lay the power bomb because you have to go back and get cathedral missiles. Like, trying to prep for 5 different categories for a tournament is just so much to do. Oh, and ptoil actually has a really explode death. It can happen sometimes. I'm not sure if ptoil just accidentally prolonged the fight more than it needed to be, or sometimes you can actually get an instant Ridley explode. I think it's something to do with the way that, like, there's like a timer based on how many times he tries to grab you, and you can get him in a certain state where he's just like trying to grab you every frame so he instantly explodes. Oh, I wish there were runners that got X-ray. As much as I would love to add the X-ray D-boost into a 69 run, it's just too much. Nice speed while out of Wasteland from ptoil. And a really nice reverse Green Hill Zone from MGA. Oh, and he just missed that speedball. Yeah, Retro Grin Cleanup is notorious for being one of the most technical one of the most technical parts of the game. You have all of your movement items, and you compound that with the fact that the map here is just really awkward. There's a lot of really awkward geometry to it. Oh, and MGA actually laid that power bomb, looks like one block further from where he wanted it. But yeah, Retro Brain Cleanup is also quite developed just because it happens in Hundo. However, strats do have to be a little bit different here, not having that spring ball that you would normally have in a Hundo setting, or nearly any other category that does a retro bin cleanup like this. Oh no, NGA! So, frozen enemies are somewhat notorious for having some very interesting hitboxes and properties. And chat, talking about the old school sounds like crap sound. I believe you're talking about analog clipping for the sound. It's where you can, a lot of stuff can get squashed. But yeah, clipping is very easy to have happen to your capture. And sometimes with the way that the SNES is just a console, that's a little bit older, sometimes it's just unavoidable. Yeah, that was interesting, not going for the spark up climb. Maybe, I don't imagine, like, there's no reason MGA would want to conserve his health. Maybe he's just more consistent with a wall jump climb. Like, there's something to be said for going for strats that are just consistent. Alright, and MGA takes a little bit of time there to line up Gauntlet. Nobody wants to take a fat time loss to, well, you wouldn't want to do Gauntlet again. You would want to get 230 or something, depending on what your route is. But yeah, falling down just one side of Gauntlet. MGA had one extra item. Wonder which one. Also, shoutouts to Super Metroid as a speed game, having so many pauses in it that you can interact with chat, give your hands a little rest and whatnot. You know, every room is like a little break that you can like stretch out your fingers a little bit. We have a 6.7 second item fanfares throughout, and then some major ones like bowling and G4. Makes it for a pretty nice experience, honestly. Like if I just had to marathon this, no breaks, well, I guess that would be a lot like playing a randomizer. But it definitely takes a toll on your hands. But yeah, I do not care for randomizers that remove item fanfare. I think that's a bit much. Oh, that was a really good Metroid Room 1 from MGA. Uh, all of these Metroid rooms have been so clean. Wow. Metroid rooms, they're consistently, really nice recovery. I think MGA also had a mini, I don't know if it was either a mini recovery or a slightly different strat than most people go for, where on, I believe it was either, I think it was the third Metroid, he actually did an upward shot as opposed to a diagonal one. But yeah, really nice Metroid rooms. One of the most technical, if not the most technical segment of the game. Really cool rooms, really hand-hurty, fun to grind though. Very nice baby skip. I think he had one extra jump in there. But yeah, this is going to be a nice time for MGA. Certainly not a PB, but for a race setting, really cool. And wow, I can't believe MGA managed to refreeze that Rinka in the right position. That feels more impressive to me than getting that down back zip skip, honestly. Yes, so at the end credits, to confirm it's a valid run, we will be looking for 69%. Oh, a nice 230 mock ball for ptoil. The 230 mock ball is extremely difficult. MGA looks perfectly set up for a stand-up here. Still a couple places he has to be sure not to get tripped up. Like, the big one at this point is mostly just making sure the baby doesn't get caught in a bad position. MGA, of course, has done quite a few stand-ups, and I'm sure, like, anyone who's been running SM for long enough has failed stand-up just about every way that you can. It's definitely a learning experience, so his stand-up here is perfectly fine. Like, worst he can do at this point is slow lock, and even then, that's just a time loss. Yes. Game 2 will be directly following this race. Alright, just a few shots there for Mother Brain 3. Yeah, and MGA is on to the escape at 57 minutes and 45 seconds in. I mean, this is going to be just an incredible time. Oh no, MGA! But yeah, this this time that MGA has put out uh is going to almost certainly beat, I think, maybe everyone else's PB uh, for 69 of people who are in this tournament. I'm not sure anybody else in this tournament has gotten the sub-hour yet. I know a couple people are very close. Bress has gotten an hour and 1 second. But this is going to be a low 59. And finishing with an official SRL time of 59:01, MrGuyAverage is your winner for today's race. GG. Yeah, just really well run race all around. I mean, ptoil has been running a great race this whole time, and ptoil is going to have an incredible finish time here. But MrGuyAverage is first seed in this tournament for a reason, showing that he can put out incredible times, you know, even in a race setting. Nice remorph step skip from ptoil. But yeah, this is just game 1 of a 3-game set, and game 2 will be happening immediately after this. ptoil will be banning a category, and then MGA will have 2 remaining categories to choose from. So the categories still remaining in the pool are any percent all bosses, GT max percent, and Nintendo power percent. So of those, ptoil will be allowed to ban 1, and then MGA can choose 1 from the other 2. And should it come to a game 3, the remaining of all 5 categories, the last one that has been neither banned nor played, will be the game 3 category. Yeah, unfortunately, ptoil had to forego a stand-up there. So to answer a question in chat, Nintendo Power Percent is a category that utilizes a guide that Nintendo Power put out for how to get the game's best ending. And Nintendo Power Percent picks up all the items and defeats all the bosses in the specific order prescribed by that guide. It's a fun and wacky category with some questionable choices made for the guide, like picking up Spring Ball before defeating Dragon and getting Space Jump. But it's got some neat movement tech to it. Alright, and ptoil is on to Mother Brain 3. It'll take a little bit longer than usual, but even without stand-up, Mother Brain 3 isn't overly long. But yeah, Nintendo Power Percent is a funny category. Uh, I can't stand playing it, but it is neat to see other people play it. Very got some esoteric choices. And on to the escape for ptoil. So this should be like a sub 105. Uh, a very good time to put out. Not going to be a PB for ptoil, but still a very good race time. Alright, nice behemoth spark. And Parlor rears its ugly head as, in my opinion, by far the most obnoxious of the escape rooms. Just feels so awkward to do. And ptoil does finish in second place with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 51 seconds. GG to both of our runners. Really, really well run race. Like, I can't stress enough, uh, even though ptoil finished a little bit under 6 minutes behind, that is nothing to be ashamed of. MrGuyAverage ran just an impeccable race today. And we'll have to see how things shake out in game 2. Just coming out, looks like we are deciding the category for game 2 right now. ptoil bans any percent all bosses, which I think is more than to be expected. MrGuyAverage is very skilled any percent runner, one of the best KPDR runners. Has, I believe, a 43 or 4401 any percent time, which is better than nearly, 4401 is better than the vast majority of new route runners have. But yes, so ptoil bans any percent all bosses, and MrGuyAverage chooses Nintendo Power Percent. So for those in the chat who are wondering what Nintendo Power Percent is, stick around and you'll find out. I believe we'll be having the race get underway in just a moment. Nintendo. But yeah, we did also get official confirmation here on this windscreen. MrGuyAverage does have a valid run. Very nice percent to get. Sadly, our runners do not have to super fan tune, although they can if they so desire. 5 supers will do the trick. But yeah, hopefully we can get a race room open in just a second. I believe our runners are trying to do it without stream going down. All right. Yep. Looks like we're getting everything set up for the next run. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, get some water so that I can remain hydrated for this next match, and continue onward with commentary. Uh, I recommend that everyone in the chat take a little bit of a break too. Get up, get some water if you haven't. If you haven't had any water recently, otherwise just get up and stretch and come back here in just a moment. All right, and we are back. Our runners are going to get started in just a moment here. So, for those who may be just joining us, this is game two between Mr. Guy Average and ptoil as part of the Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament, which is a tournament that as the multi-category part implies, has multiple categories being raced every single round. So there's a pool of 5 categories to choose from, and every single game, one player gets a ban and the other player gets a pick, except for a game 3 situation, at which point there's only one category left, which is the one raced. Uh, and these 5 categories come from the category extension board, hence the extension part of the title. And we have any percent all bosses, North Korea percent, Nintendo Power percent, GT Max percent, and what we just saw last race, 69%. So this is Nintendo Power percent, which is a category that is quite interesting. It involves an old Nintendo Power guide that gave a strategy guide for how to beat the game and get the best ending possible. And so for Nintendo Power percent, we have to follow that guide exactly, picking up all the items in that order and defeating all the bosses in that prescribed order. There are some interesting quirks to it. Obviously, we're not going to be mockballing to early supers or anything like that. Uh, However, we are also going to be picking up Spring Ball before getting Space Jump, notably, as well as getting Brinstar Reserve before Grapple or Wave. All right, we've got some series escapes going on here. Both players jumping the stairs. I believe last round, MGA actually didn't jump the first set of stairs, or jumped it very late. So a 4580 and a 4550. These runners right on their tails. Great serious times from both of them. So yeah, Nintendo Power percent. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing any difference in the runners in terms of which items they pick up, or any safeties they pick up, as they do have to follow the same prescribed route. There's very little you can do in the way of changing your route. About as unique as you can get is choosing whether you want to go for the green gate glitch in Meridia, which if you get it first try saves about 10 seconds. But if you miss it, costs you both time and supers. But yeah, what is neat about this category though, and I think what sort of propels people to run it is it has some really cool room strats. Uh, just because you are picking up items with item sets and in item orders that you don't see in any other category in this whole game. There's some effectively Nintendo Power exclusive strats. Probably the most notable example is the 2 Shine Sparks to get to Spring Ball. Are really neat and something that you don't see anywhere else. But yep, already on MrGuyAverage's screen we can see one of the first deviations from the vast majority of categories. We do pick up the beta missiles here. And honestly, beta missiles are actually really nice to have. They make BT a lot cozier. Like, it is such that in categories that get Brinstar Ceiling E-Tank anyway at the very beginning of the game, it's just worth it to pick up the beta missiles pack just for the BT fight. All right, nice climbs from both of our runners. Ptoil had just a little bit of a hiccup. Nothing major though. And, a 505 bombs there from MGA. Of course, that is with beta missiles in there, so definitely a little bit different from what you normally expect from bombs times. It's kind of funny. Usually you see a like a standard route will have bombs times in like the 440s or 450s. And oftentimes, otherwise, you're getting Brinstar ceiling, so you'll see a 6-minute something bomb time. Here's sort of that middle ground where we just pick up beta missiles, though. Yeah, and ptoil makes up just a little bit of time there, having being able to do the intended Terminator strat. MGA, it seems, has been having a little bit of trouble with Terminator today. It just feels surreal to watch people just fall right past that early supers. Oh no! MrGuyAverage almost left those charged missiles behind. Uh, had it gone so far as him picking up charge before getting those missiles, that actually would have been like a minute time loss. Nice up and two from MrGuyAverage there. And here's another really cool part of the category. I'm actually a really big fan of bottom to top pink Brinstar. I think this room, going from bottom to the top, has really cool movement. I think it's really fun. So I always love any opportunity that I'm allowed to do it. Stuff like if you're going meme route in a randomizer, for example. And here we see a funny character that we don't normally encounter. It's everyone's favorite fungus, I guess. If it's got spores, it's probably a fungus, right? Yeah, so Spore Spawn is actually a fight that you can optimize really well. We saw from MGA, and they're from ptoil, you can actually get missiles in the second round on Spore Spawn's open without getting him to close his mouth. So you can get quite a few in there. I think MGA got 5 in, ptoil might have gotten 4. Oh, and that was just a 1 missile phase from ptoil. Yeah, and MrGuyAverage takes the mighty long fall down to climb supers. I believe the most time-saving moonfall in the entire game. Unfortunately, he does not get it. It's a pretty hard moonfall to get, actually, because you have to quick drop through the crumble blocks and still land on the edge. Like ptoil showed there, except you would land on the edge. Ptoil notably does not moonfall. He doesn't turn on moonwalk. Uh, Wait, which missiles? Which missiles are you asking about, chat? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the game tells you to get pipe missiles at the beginning, which honestly, that one makes sense. Honestly, like if you, that's something that even newer runners won't totally understand why you want to save pipe missiles for later. There are pickups that are just absolutely baffling. Like once we get to the Norfair segment, you're going to see a very interesting bubble mountain, I would say. It's like the guide doesn't seem to want to require you to use wall jumps, but it does want to get like it does want you to, I suppose, infinite bomb jump at certain parts is all I can think. Yes, this category does require all bosses. Just by the nature of the guide, the Nintendo Power Guide doesn't. Well, it wouldn't be fair to do any sequence breaking. To say that this guy doesn't do any sequence breaking, but the guy doesn't do any sequence breaking that actually gets you progression in the game. Which means that we can't skip Croc because he has grapple. We can't skip Spore Spawn because Spospo has super missiles. We can't skip GT because GT has screw attack. Which, while screw attack isn't exactly progression, even with intended route in the game, any player who needs a guide to be able to beat this game in under the prescribed time would want screw attack. The bosses and mini bosses are going to be in the order you would expect for an intended order of the game. Mostly, it's just in some individual item pickups where the category really shows its quirks. There are a couple of green gate glitches, too, that are there to save some time. Obviously were not expected by the magazine. And they're just very minor. We're not green gate glitching to Golden Torizo. Unfortunately, we can't, as we have to pick up the missile pack before GT. Yeah, Crate Quick Kill was actually intended by the developers. It's actually a pretty major glitch that causes Crate to stand up. It's leftover development code. But yeah, we've seen a lot of runs get invalidated due to just missing that missile pack before GT. Also, notably, you have to kill Golden Teresa before picking up the supers that he has. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to play GT missiles safe, then you can just use Spring Ball, and you'll get them every time. Because one of the nice features with Spring Ball is while you are in morph form, if you have Spring Ball, if you are holding jump before you land, then you'll buffer a Spring Ball jump. Very nice Cathedral missile pickup there from MGA. Really cool down back strat. Honestly, I feel like just about any strat that includes down backs is gonna look cool. Well, looks like MGA's stream might be having some issues. Hopefully the wrinkles there can get ironed out quickly. Ooh, it looks like MrGuyAverage's stream itself is actually down. Unfortunate. So we will just be waiting here. Is the super gonna hit the door? The suspense is killing me. In the meantime, we can turn our attention to a ptoil screen showing us first. We never really see this in any other category, but for Nintendo Power Percent, we do have to pick up that Bubble Mountain missile first. That one makes a lot of sense, I think. But right here, after we get speed, things are gonna seem a bit interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So right here, interesting. So ptoil actually does not charge a shine spark, exiting speed. So there are a couple different strats you can do here, because unlike any other category I know of, right after getting speed booster, we have to go to Brinstar, or excuse me, Norfair Reserve. I don't know. I don't know why. I think this was maybe just an oversight from the writers of the guide. Oversight from the writers. But yeah. Regardless, I'm not entirely sure how the authors intended you to get this reserve, either by infinite bomb jumping or, um, I guess possibly they intended you to do uh, a wall jump that, mind you, is as difficult. It is the same wall jump as the worst room in the game wall jump. So, uh, whatever the intention, it certainly makes for an interesting route. Yeah, we do, I think it just took a while to switch over to ptoil's audio. Yeah. Oh, that was a nice ice entry there from ptoil. Getting the quick morph into that tunnel. Yeah, I do love this action shot on MGA's screen. I'm gonna print this out on my Polaroid camera printer, hang it up on the fridge. Yeah, ptoil unfortunately doesn't get ice escape. Now, something interesting that you might not expect, that might seem surprising from this category, is health management is actually fairly difficult. Like, I expect any runner who that is at the caliber of these two runners to be taking Sloater's refill prior to Meridia, just because you have so many damaging strats. Like, there's no way around needing the refill if you're going for sparks. Oh wow, so we have MGA's stream back, and is MGA finished with wrecked ship? There's no way, right? Oh no, sorry, I forgot. We're playing a silly category that picks up alpha power bombs and then goes back to Norfair. Oh, I love Nintendo Power. So yeah, for this category, get used to seeing Red Tower. Make friends with it. And MGA, unfortunately, is gonna have to reset this this pre-ice room. It's always a little bit embarrassing to see have happen. I'm not fully sure what he did. It looked like did he accidentally spark? Like, I'm not sure what the intent with that spark was. Meanwhile, ptoil has to be kind of careful with his health. I wouldn't blame ptoil for taking Sloater's refill here. Oh, he was trying to mock wall, okay. Some really neat croc strats here from MGA. Ideally, you can get 2 missiles and a super out on croc each phase. And a fun little thing with this category. You obviously can still go for the wraparound shot. It just doesn't do anything for you since you don't get Croc PBs first in this category. You actually get them on your way out since the guide expects you to need grapple for them. And ptoil is on the Croc fight now. Really not a huge difference between these two runners at all. Just a few rooms separate them. In some of the upcoming sections, you know, like wrecked ship, obviously Fantoon, you can gain or lose quite a bit of time. Attic can also be huge. And then Meridia, every single room in Meridia, you can gain or lose quite a bit of time. So really, this race, a lot can happen, and that recovery there by MrGuyAverage was just wow. MGA somehow narrowly does a mid-air morph to manage to avoid those rippers. Oh, a really cool bounce ball on a Croc Room exit there from MGA. Might have to steal that strat. Yeah, and this room that MGA is currently in, the red pirate shaft going up it, there's no great way to do it. Great speedball there from ptoil. Always a neat trick to see. Oh no, MGA having some troubles there with King Cac, a big bully. That was a really low super on the wave door. And that deboost that MGA just got in double chamber is actually a lot harder than it might initially seem, because it's really easy to KO through that ripper by accident. But it is actually faster than just jumping to the further spikes. Oh no, ptoil, I think I mentioned in the last race, frozen enemies are notorious for having some real wacky hitboxes. I love that deboost in the single chamber. And interesting there that MGA breaks the tube early. I don't imagine that breaking the tube early saves as much time going right to left, since The 2 breakpoint is actually on like the left side of the screen, but I guess it still saves some amount of time. And now MGA gets what might be the most interesting choice overall from this guide, X-ray. I I imagine what was going on here was the guide writers figured you need to get every single major item. So our runners will get X-ray for I would say quite limited utility. There are some corner case strats you can do with X-ray. Off the top of my head, I can think of during LN escape when you're entering the room with the 3 key hunters right to the left of fire fleas. You can actually use X-ray to get up a little bit faster. Alright, and ptoil gets a nice alpha spark as well with some extra height, so he should be able to just go through the door. Yeah, nice. Oh, and MGA hits a Vile Plume. Oh yeah, if we're talking about things that we can do overall with X-ray, there's quite a bit. Unfortunately, microwaving can't be used in the category where we get plasma after all the microwavable bosses have already been defeated. Yeah, there are vanilla categories that use microwave, RBO, and a category that's actually in this tournament, North Korea percent, as well as all of the GT code categories, including GT Max, a category that's in this tournament. But yeah, there are a few categories where microwaving is relevant. But yeah, it has been tested out. For something like North Korea percent, getting plasma is just unabashedly faster. For RBO, it's a lot closer as to whether plasma's worth it. I believe Zenny's tested it out. And I think through Fantoon it's worth it, but it just saves you so much time on Mother Brain. Yep, MGA is going to be going for an X Factor here. Fantoon gives a slow. However, it is kind of nice, as I understand the X Factor setup for the slow pattern is pretty nice though. Oh, MGA. So, so MrGuyAverage just got the left mid Fantoon pattern, which I think has like it's like a 0.6% chance or something of happening. And then, as we saw there, Fantoon's eye is notoriously finicky. So Fantoon's eye on that initial open has a really small hitbox. MGA just happened to be in the middle of it. Big ups to MGA for being prepared for the left mid. Wow. It's not something you see every race. I swear, we have had more uncommon Phantoon patterns than are warranted so far this tournament. Oh no, ptoil only gets 2 particles on the X Factor. So it's going to be what? That's like 6 extra missiles you have to do, I think. Nice, nice nice bowling spark there for MGA. Jeez, ptoil is just not having good Phantoon luck. Not having good Phantoon luck and not being able to execute on this fight the way that he wants. Phantoon is out to take names today. And a million power bombs there for ptoil. Certainly not the drops that ptoil wanted. It won't be a huge deal per se. But anytime you can get more supers, it's good to have them. Yeah, and that Phantoon fight did set ptoil back a fair bit. Has definitely helped MrGuyAverage maintain his lead. Yeah, ptoil did get the nice attic spark. Yeah, and we see here MrGuyAverage takes Sloater's refill. You can't avoid Sloater's refill. There's just no way. And makes use of this opportunity to turn Gravity Suit off during a pause. That's going to be useful much later at the very end of the run for stand-up glitch. Because interestingly, Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam, for the amount of damage it does, it actually only checks if you have Varia Suit. It doesn't care if you have Gravity Suit. So by unequipping Varia, MrGuyAverage makes stand-up just a little bit easier. So MrGuyAverage, I don't know what could have possibly possessed him to think this, but for some reason it seemed like he wanted to go to a part of Meridia that isn't Spring Ball. I mean, of course, as we all know, it's just optimal to get Spring Ball as your first Meridia item. Yeah, unfortunately, MGA missed the first Shine Spark. There are 2 Shine Sparks you can get here, and he just got the second one, the arguably harder one. And each of those Shine Sparks saves quite a bit of time, and is the primary reason why we get Sloater's refill in this category. MGA is going to have to reset the room now. He had just a little bit of menuing troubles there. I think maybe he didn't realize he had power bombs already selected. Yeah, I believe Shack Tool being off screen reduces lag by a little bit. I think the most optimal thing you can do for Shack Tool is actually just get hit as often as you can from Shack Tool, since while you are in iframes, you're blinking, which means Samus only gets drawn every other frame. MGA does make the interesting decision to kill Shack Tool, using a super missile in the process. Let's see how it plays out. Oh, and ptoil unfortunately is having some trouble getting this this short charge here. Just stupid crabs getting in the way, heckin' crabs. Yeah, and that's the first spark that MGA unfortunately missed. Nice, ptoil gets both sparks. Certainly not enough to close the gap, but that will help ptoil quite a lot. These sand waterfall rooms take up so much time. Yeah, and I like the decision MGA is making here. You can actually green gate glitch to get back to Main Street, and it saves about 10 seconds. However, MGA's super count is extremely low here. So even if he got it first try, I don't think it's worth the super, honestly. Yeah, if only MGA had exactly one more super. Shame there's nothing he could have done to prevent that. Shame there's no friendly sea creatures he could have allowed to live. Now, from this point onward, I would say Nintendo Power percent honestly gets a lot more normal, becomes a lot more in line with what you would expect a guy to have you pick up. I would say the early spring ball is really the last major questionable decision. Also, really nice mock ball by MGA. Unfortunate he had to miss a super though. ptoil's health here is a little bit low. Shouldn't be an issue, Mama Turtle's coming right up. And with Gravity Suit, enemies in Meridia aren't too much of a concern. Alright, MGA is setting up her bot twin here. Good. Wow, MGA dealt with that crappy pattern very nicely. Oh, and ptoil just clever from ptoil. I really like this. That was really neat, actually. Our MGA setting up for full halfie here. Oh, he bonks the door. You hate to see it. Honestly, though, watching this buttery smooth Coliseum from MGA there, almost makes me wish that halfie and full halfie weren't available as tricks, because Coliseum without a spark across is just some really neat movement. Yeah, only almost. Full halfie is still a really cool trick. That was not the opening MGA wanted to see. That was, yeah, really low on that spark, and the particles didn't hit where he wanted them to. And Dragon doesn't want to goo, wow. Nice recovery there from MGA. Oh no! MGA gets the bad frame. Getting the bad... he had Spike Suit? Or, oh no, he just had a Charge Shine Spark, right. Ooh, ptoil unfortunately loses the D-Factor. I believe, yeah, that particle actually did go into Bottoon eventually, though. But yeah, honestly, getting the bad frame on that Spike Suit attempt from MGA, still very impressive. As Spike Suit's already a double frame perfect trick. However, when you have Spring Ball, it becomes so much harder. As you normal Spike Suit, you just tap right to hit the spark on the wall. 1 frame later, you tap jump. Then 10 frames later, or whatever, you tap jump again. With Spike Suit, you have to do the first unmorph as an up input because of Spring Ball. So it becomes so much harder. Alright, ptoil about to enter his Dragon fight now. And MGA unfortunately loses that plasma spark in a far less than ideal way. That was a really cool way to destroy the turret from ptoil. Alright, MGA lays a power bomb here in Plasma Room. Interestingly, power bombs will not damage the standing pirates, but they do damage the wall pirates. So we can use that to our advantage to kill the wall pirates in only 1 hit by laying a power bomb on our way into the room. It's a strategy that only works... Oh, and ptoil gets Spike Suit, wow. But yeah, laying a power bomb in Plasma Room is only worth it if you don't have ice equipped, since ice will make everything take 2 shots to kill anyway. But yeah, ptoil does save a little bit of time with this Spike Suit. In categories that pick up space jump anyway, Spike Suit doesn't save a tremendous amount of time. I think about 5.5 seconds compared to Womple Jump. Still good to have though. Uh, MGA is looking to enter Lower Norfair now. Yeah, MGA's movement throughout this whole race and the one before it has been really clean. His resources aren't phenomenal, honestly. I'm sure he would love to have more than 5 supers. However, just like the 69 race before this, with what you pick up in this run, it's less about being worried of not having the requisite items, and more about each super you have is a nice time saver. MGA there unfortunately couldn't go for Chronic Boost, so he had to go for the backup Namihe Boost. And then actually pauses on the elevator there. That just saves a handful of frames, I think like half a second or something, if that. Just because pausing on an elevator, first it's nice, since pausing any place where you don't have to do an action immediately out of it is good. But also, from what I understand, it moves the camera down a little bit, so the elevator cutscene just takes a little bit less time. And looks like MGA in the LN elevator room went for the boost off the fire pillar strat. It's not the absolute fastest strat, but it is close enough to something like Blue Fireball, where you try to get blue echoes throughout, and it's much more consistent. Yeah, and MGA, not interested in picking up any of those drops. Just not worth the time to pick them up. And at this point, we only have a couple more items left to pick up. No huge surprises. Oh no, ptoil misses Chronic Boost. Really easy to turn around too early. It's tough timing for a trick. And MGA actually drops his space jump. Yeah, so ptoil here flawlessly performs the blue fireball strat. Just textbook, that was great. Blue fireball is a really difficult strat to pull off. But one of my personal favorites. Yeah, we see ptoil here making use of that spring ball to make absolutely certain he gets that missile pack. Yeah, we'll see if this time around MGA wants to use any supers for the Ridley fight. He does have a sizable lead, so he doesn't have to if he just wants to save them for Turian. Oh, and Ridley wants to be a jerk today. Oh well, still a nice Ridley fight. And if memory serves, I believe after this now, Fire Fleas is the only remaining item. And after that, as the Nintendo Power Guide says, on to Turian. Oh, I love this Wasteland strat here. Spring Ball exclusive. High five from our runners. Yeah, see, yeah, I completely approve ptoil's decision here to simply reset the room. That can be the issue with this, with the ideal Nintendo Power, or excuse me, the ideal Ninja Pirate strat, is when it goes wrong, it can go horribly wrong. I love that micro use of spring ball there from MGA. Alright, we see ptoil having quite the excess of supers. We'll be using quite a few here on Ridley to just make the fight go a bit faster. And Ridley goes down. Oh, great Meridia entry there from MGA, wow. Like, I'm such a sucker for a really long extended stationary jump followed by a down grab. Nice reverse flower house for ptoil. Like, both of our runners today have just had such incredible movement. And if you want to see even more of that movement after this race is over, be sure to go follow both of these runners on their own Twitch channels. Go follow ptoil, go follow MrGuyAverage. They put on such a great show today. And if you would be so kind, I've been Glove on comms. And if you want to give me a follow as well, I appreciate it. So MrGuyAverage, just a couple rooms away now from entering Turian. That Terminator strat is so cool. Yeah, we will see. MGA is poised to have it's like somewhere in the low 1 minutes, I guess, for elevator time. or 1 hour, 0 minutes rather. That's one of my pet favorite moonfalls there. That moonfall into Turian saves next to no time. It is really funny though. Yeah, I've seen oh man, a perfect Metroid Room 3. You couldn't ask for a better room than that. MJ has had a couple menuing woes here, but wow, that Metroid Room 3 was just impeccable. See if MGA wants to go for stupid baby skip. Nah, MGA's just gonna go for normal baby skip. Perfectly understandable. And has to spend a little bit more time on it. Recovers nicely though. There is an incredibly fast baby skip you can do if you have speed, high jump, space jump, and spring ball. However, it's just obscenely difficult. There are a few people who are justified in going for it. Yeah. Oh yeah. MJ is unfortunately having some trouble with this down back zeb skip. We need to do down back zeb skip in this category. Either that or unequip a screw attack. Or go for speed zeb skip or remorph zeb skip. We have options, but down back zeb skip is the most favorable of those options if you can continue it, like if you can reliably do it. At this point, I imagine MGA just wants to prove that he can. And there we go. Still, like, you know, it's still very impressive to get that. Down back zeb skip is not easy by any means. Alright, and ptoil enters Turian. So gonna be really nice times from both of our runners. Not gonna be a PB for MGA. I'm not sure for ptoil. So what is listed? His Nintendo Power PB is a 1:11:15 according to the sheet of PBs at time of the beginning of tournament. I'm not sure if ptoil's improved since then. Yeah, unfortunately, MGA did take a bit too much damage. Thankfully remembers to turn Varia back on. That would have been tragic. But yeah, MGA can't go for stand-up. Perfectly fine though. I mean, stand-up is optimally like a 20-second time save, so it's not the end of the world. And certainly MrGuyAverage has enough lead to work with that I wouldn't have flamed him even if he just skipped stand-up anyway. It's not a quote-unquote difficult trick, but it has a lot of ways you can fail. And ptoil unfortunately gets grabbed by the baby. Yeah, so if ptoil's time is still what it was at the beginning of the tournament, then this will be a quite solid PB for him. We will see though. And MGA is on a Mother Brain 3. ptoil goes for the speed zeb skip here. I approve. I am one of the other P runners who goes for it. It's not faster, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, but man, it's fun. Mother Brain 3 goes down. So MrGuyAverage will be exiting Mother Brain room just as ptoil is starting the Mother Brain fight. All in all, like a really nice race, really well run by both of these competitors. And you know, I hope both of these runners are coming away with times that they're happy with. MGA going for Blue Bomber and gets it after a little bit of trials and tribulations. Really neat strat. Saves like a second ideally. And only saves any time if you have screw attack still enabled, so that's why it's important to get down back zeb skip so that you can Blue Bomber. Clean parlor from MGA. What a parlor. And MrGuyAverage finishes in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1:07:53, taking game 2 and the series overall. GG. Yeah, and ptoil there, you know, shows exactly why this category picks up X-Ray. The writers of Nintendo Power knew that new players would have a lot of trouble with stand-up glitch, so they just added that in as a nice safety measure. And ptoil enters the escape. Alright, and it looks like we are joined by MrGuyAverage, the winner of today's race and the series overall. GG.
Hi, thanks for the GGs.
So, how are you feeling about the 2 games that you've played tonight?
I think my 69% run was definitely the better of the two. My first half of the 69 was really solid. But I just haven't practiced Nintendo Power Percent that much, so there was a lot of dumb stuff that happened. Really sloppy, but I mean,
Yeah, it'll happen. Like I think it's a category that deviates. Uh, like I think there's a lot that can happen with regards to it being similar, but also very different in notable ways from other categories. Like, I saw you doing you started doing Meridia as you would expect to do in any other category that picks up gravity suit. Thankfully realizing pretty quickly though.
right, yeah, yeah.
Alright. And ptoil has just finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1:10:23. Uh and if his current PB was what was on the sheet from the beginning of the tournament, then that is a pretty sizable PB for him, as he entered this tournament with a Nintendo Power Percent PB of 111.15.
Nice.
Yeah, and we are joined by ptoil now. GG.
Hey, GG. Good
Uh,
race.
Yo,
yeah, was that a
GG,
PB
man.
for you?
Yeah, I believe so. I have like old splits up, so I'm not sure. So I don't like know what my pace was during the run, but I'm pretty sure that was PB. Yeah.
Nicely done. So how are you feeling about the two races you ran tonight?
I think I performed well. I mean, obviously going against MrGuyAverage, he obviously had the advantage,
Hmm.
but I think I put on a good show.
Absolutely. It was, yeah, I mean, it was really neat to watch. Like, both of you had clean movement throughout, really nice rooms. So, I guess let's harken back to the 69 race. For that one, how did you feel, ptoil overall?
Um, it was pretty good. I had that one mistake where after Batoon I had to go back down to Aqueduct. I forgot those items,
Yeah.
but overall it was not a bad run.
Hmm. Yeah, I think in both races, both runners, I think you both had trouble with Fantoon and Dragon.
Oh yeah, for sure, Fantune.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think ptoil, your Dragons were relatively clean, but MGA had to finish both of them with missile kills.
yeah. Dragon's always gonna be the bane of my existence, and I just accept
Same
it.
here with Fantune.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, I think of the four Fantoons we saw tonight, I don't think any of them were what you as runners would have wanted.
Both of my Fantoons were like prime 2 round potential, and then it was just me like choking in the dumbest ways possible.
Yeah, my first one I enraged with one missile left. That
Yeah,
hurt.
it was
Yeah.
bad. I got a left mid this run
Oh
in
yeah,
nuclear
I saw
power,
that.
and I was prepared for it, but I was in the wrong position, so I couldn't like because every time I was trying to shoot a missile at Fantoon, it would go like right through him.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Despite the woes on Fantoon, still really clean races. Uh, Overall. However, MGA, you will be moving onward in the winners bracket to face Professor School in winners semis. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Yeah, he is getting better like with every run. He's definitely one of the up and coming runners that's gonna get really good times. If I feel like he's really gonna play into like the max percent or the North Korea percent, one of those volatile categories. So,
Hmm.
um, he can definitely beat me, like for sure, 100%. If I like mess up anywhere, like he'll capitalize on it. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to practice a lot of max percent
Hmm.
for that.
Yeah. And ptoil, the tournament's not over for you. You will be going to face so you're gonna face Tillimorph. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. I mean, there's still more left, so I
Yeah.
expect a good race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, best of luck to both of you as the bracket continues onward.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Any last comments for the chat from either of you?
Just thanks for calming on late notice, Glove. Yeah, and
Yeah, happy to do it.
GG and congrats on the PB, P12.
Thanks. Yeah. GG on the wins.
All right. Well, with all of that out of the way, be sure to go follow both of these runners tonight for putting on a great race. Go follow ptoil. Go follow MrGuyAverage. If you would be so kind as to throw me a follow as well, I would appreciate it. I've been Glove on comms, and from everyone here at Speed Gaming, we'll see you next mission.